The highest performing people in any meeting speak 28% less than everyone else, yet their ideas shape 63% of final decisions. So when intelligent people stay quiet in groups, it is not disengagement. It is something far more calculated. That calculation comes with a cost most of them never see coming. Anna arrives at the weekly project meeting, laptop open, pen in hand. She listens, jotting quick notes as conversation flows around her. Colleagues debate. Some speak with certainty, others hedge. Anna's voice doesn't cut through the noise. Still, her name appears again and again in the meeting minutes, and her suggestions, often raised as questions or written in the chat, end up shaping the final plan. Studies using automated transcript analysis reveal this pattern is common. In a review of 45 technology teams, high-performing members spoke 28% less than their peers, but saw their ideas cited in 63% of group decisions. Conversation analytics, built from thousands of hours of audio coding, confirm that the people with the least airtime can have the greatest impact on outcomes. Observation is not passive. Anna's silence is active information gathering. She tracks who interrupts, who hesitates, who pushes an idea without evidence. As others fill the air, she notes the unspoken dynamics, alliances, doubts, and moments when the group drifts off course. This approach is not unique to Anna. Meeting analytics datasets show that those who spend more time observing and less time talking are often the first to spot a flawed assumption or a missing step. Their influence comes from timing and precision. Instead of jumping in, they wait for a gap, then contribute a distilled insight. The group may not notice who first planted the seed of a successful idea, but the data does. Silence, in these cases, is not a sign of disengagement or lack of confidence. It's a deliberate strategy, one that leverages careful listening and pattern recognition to shape the conversation from the edges. The myth that only the loudest voices lead is not supported by the evidence. In fact, the quietest experts often hold the keys to the group's best decisions. Anna's hands hover above the keyboard, but her thoughts are elsewhere. She is weighing more than the content of her idea. She is running the numbers on reputation. In group settings, each comment is a kind of social gamble. The risk is not just being wrong, it is being seen as wrong. Psychologists call this reputation calculus. It is the internal math that decides whether to speak up or stay silent. The sociometer theory, first outlined by Mark Leary, describes how people monitor their social standing almost like a sensor. Every group interaction is a chance to gain or lose face. For high-ability members, the fear of negative judgment is sharper. Vignette experiments show that when participants imagine speaking up in front of mixed status groups, their willingness to contribute drops by nearly a third if there is a chance of being corrected or dismissed. The cost of a misstep, being labeled as pedantic, or worse, as someone who always has to be right, weighs heavily. Surveys of engineers and scientists reveal a consistent pattern. The top reasons for withholding ideas are not lack of confidence or knowledge, but concern over being judged, seeming arrogant, or disrupting group harmony. In one study, 62% of high-performing respondents said they had held back a solution to avoid the appearance of showing off. The same survey found that being wrong in front of respected peers carried a reputational penalty that lingered well beyond the meeting itself. Impression management is not just about looking good, it is about avoiding the social costs of looking bad. Anna's silence is shaped by this invisible negotiation. She knows that one poorly timed comment can shrink her future influence. The sociometer's needle jumps higher in settings where status is on the line, where a single error can echo through team memory for weeks. In these moments, silence is not just caution, it is a calculated move to protect standing and preserve the option to speak when it matters most. Anna's silence in meetings is not just a matter of social calculation, it is also written into the way her brain processes information. While the group moves quickly from one topic to the next, Anna's mind is running a different kind of race. Neurocognitive research reveals that people with high working memory capacity often experience a measurable delay between forming an idea and voicing it. This delay is not hesitation, it is the result of a deeper, more complex internal process. In laboratory studies, participants with greater working memory capacity show a pronounced P300 response, a spike in brain activity recorded by EEG, when deciding whether to speak. The P300, often extended in high-ability individuals, marks the moment the brain integrates new information and decides on a response. For Anna, this means every idea is filtered through several layers of internal checks. Is it accurate? Is it relevant? Is it new? Each gate adds milliseconds to her response time, but increases the likelihood that her contribution will be precise. Pupillometry studies add another layer to the story. When faced with a complex group problem, people like Anna display larger and more sustained pupil dilation, a biological marker of cognitive load and active deliberation. The brain is not idling, it is simulating outcomes, running counterfactuals, and rehearsing possible objections. In these moments, silence is the outward sign of intense internal work. There is a trade-off at play. High-capacity thinkers can juggle more information in their minds, but this depth comes with a speed penalty. Experimental decision-making tasks show that, under flexible time conditions, these individuals often wait longer before speaking, and their answers are more accurate and nuanced. When time pressure is high, they may say nothing at all, preferring silence over a rushed or incomplete answer. For Anna, the pause before she speaks is not a gap to be filled. It is a window where ideas are tested, refined, and sometimes withheld if they do not meet her own standards. The group may interpret this as reticence, but biology tells a different story. Her silence is a consequence of the very cognitive strength that makes her ideas valuable, an extended process of integration and verification that unfolds beneath the surface, invisible to those who are only counting words. Anna's idea surfaces again. This time someone else voices it with more volume and confidence. Around the table, heads nod, and credit quietly drifts away from the origin. In the meeting summary, her contribution is no longer linked to her name. This is not an isolated event. Controlled experiments that track idea flow in group discussions show that when a quieter member first introduces a concept, but a louder colleague repeats it, the group assigns ownership to the second speaker nearly half the time. In one study, 45% of credit shifted to those who revoiced ideas, erasing the original source from memory and records. The cost of silence compounds through group dynamics. Turn-taking is rarely equal. Analysis of meeting transcripts across industries finds that high-performing, low-speaking members lose up to 30% of their potential AIR time to interruptions and conversational overlap. When others dominate the floor, quieter voices are pushed to the margins and their windows to contribute shrink with each interruption. This pattern is not just a matter of personality or preference. It is shaped by the unwritten rules of who deserves to speak and who is expected to listen. For women and minorities, the penalties are even sharper. Meta-analyses of group interaction reveal that women receive about 30% less credit for the same ideas and are interrupted twice as often as their male peers. In mixed gender or majority white settings, minorities are granted less speaking time and face higher odds that their input will be overlooked or claimed by others. A large-scale audit of conference Q&A sessions found that women, despite representing over half of presenters, received less than half of the speaking time. Similar gaps appear in corporate analytics, where idea origination by underrepresented groups is less likely to be recognized or rewarded. These patterns extend beyond meetings. Performance reviews, promotion decisions, and bonus allocations often rely on visible contributions, not silent influence. When group culture rewards airtime and quick responses, those who wait, observe, and speak with precision risk being sidelined. The system, by design or neglect, turns silence into lost opportunity and misattributed achievement. Anna's restraint, rooted in careful thought and social awareness, is recast as disengagement or lack of ambition. The cost is not only personal, but structural, a steady drain of insight and innovation that never gets its due. Right now, organizations risk mistaking silence for disengagement, overlooking insights hidden behind quiet observation. As hybrid teams multiply, the cost of ignoring silent contributors grows. In a world driven by quick takes, true intelligence may speak loudest when it chooses restraint. Sometimes, what's unsaid changes everything. Share your thoughts below.